This is your daily Facts Matter update, and I'm your host, Roman from the Epic Times. And we are here in Cambridge, Ohio, at a pit stop for the People's Convoy, as well as several other convoys that converged. And last night they got here, they took a rest, they slept. This morning they woke up. Now they're fueling up and about to head on out to Maryland. Let's go talk to some people. What do you hope the convoy is going to accomplish? So let's say in a week, what's the best case scenario?
I would say all the mask mandates are lifted, all the vaccine mandates are lifted, and the government realizes that we're their boss, they're not our boss.
Let me ask you, it seemed like after the convoy started, a lot of different municipalities and cities started to drop various mandates, like the mask mandate, vaccine mandate. None of them admit that the convoy has anything to do with it. What do you think? You think the timing is coincidental enough that it did, or what's your opinion?
It's pretty coincidental. I think they realize what's going on, and they're trying to cover their tracks without making it obvious that it was the convoy and all the people complaining about it.
What do you make of the mainstream media's coverage of the convoy? You like it?
I haven't seen any of it.
It seems like a lot of what people are fighting for with this convoy is against this sort of system that's been set up recently, where the bureaucrats and the so-called experts are leading the charge rather than the lawmakers who are elected by the people. If that doesn't change and the spirit of this convoy isn't enacted, where do you see the country heading? What kind of country will our grandchildren inherit?
Not a very good one. It's just going to spiral downhill, and if we don't stand up now, they're just going to keep these mandates up and running, and you're just going to have to do what you're told. You're going to have to obey.
We're out there saying this is the evil that's taking place in America. It's the raw truth. And so, yeah, we're spreading the message to America. We've been doing it for decades, basically, to get our nation back to the life and liberty protecting principles of the Constitution.
So then, with this van and what you're doing, it seems like the scope of the convoy has expanded a lot. At first, it was about the vaccine mandates. I talked to a lot of people that they're saying about the mask mandates, the mandates regarding schools. You're protesting against abortion, right? So it seems like it's a very big convoy. What do you think the ultimate message is of the convoy?
Freedom. Get our nation back to the life and liberty protecting principles of the Constitution. Absolutely.
The convoy is an expression by a lot of people that the mandates, the executive powers that are being exercised are outside of the Constitution, and we don't want them anymore.
What do you make of all these court rulings and even the Supreme Court, besides the OSHA case, saying the opposite? Say they're approving all the mandates in one way or another?
Well, truthfully, I believe that it's devil-led, literally. And that they're going down a path that they've created a long time ago, and there is another way to go. And the path we're on is the wrong path, politically and spiritually.
We're tired of being told what to do. This is America. The rights that we have are God-given rights, not rights by them. It's God-given rights. We're not 3-year-olds. We don't need to be told what to do anymore.
Yeah, what do you make of that? What do you make of these politicians treating seemingly at least, treating rights as bargaining chips that they can take away and then dole out back if you behave?
Reminds me of a lot of in the late 40s of Hitler. That's how Hitler started stuff. And I'm not calling them Hitlers, but that's how it starts. They don't have the right to take our freedoms away. They're elected officials. They work for us. They need to be reminded they work for us.
What's the best case scenario for the convoy? What do you think it achieves in the best case scenario?
Awareness and attention that other Americans may stand up to, that they're not alone. There's a lot of Americans across this country that don't know what to do. They don't know. They're sick of it too, and they don't know what to do. Maybe this will give them the courage to stand up and start fighting back and start saying that we're not going to take this anymore.
My husband and I are from Bristol, Virginia, and we believe in our God-given freedoms. The government does not give our freedoms. We get it from God, so we already have our liberty. But we're out there now to stand up for government overreach one with the emergency act that's out that needs to be stopped. It needs to be ended. But we're out to support what is a growing movement of people waking up that our government is broken and it needs to be brought back to how the founding fathers created our Constitution.
What do you hope in the best case scenario, let's say a week, 2 weeks from now, what did the Freedom Convoy achieve, or the People's Convoy?
Waking up America. I mean, it's just the fact that that people standing on the overpasses, all this. I mean, this is incredible. I mean, it's people that are just starting to wake up and realize that people can make a difference.
What do you actually make of that? Because it seems like you're driving across the country, tons of people on the overpasses giving you support, waving, flags, signs, but the media seems to have a blackout on the convoy. What do you make of that?
That's typical of the media. They anytime that there's something good going on, they want to just kind of make it sound like nothing's happening.
It is today's sponsor, which is an awesome messaging and email service provider called Secure. And it's awesome if you're the type of person that actually cares about their privacy. Because, I mean, it's no big secret that these big tech companies are mining and remining our data all the time. In fact, in the year 2020, it was found that over 155 million Americans, likely including you and me, have suffered some form of data breach. And by the way, that's only what's publicly known. However, what's happened in the past, well, that can stay in the past because with Secure, your data and your messages can remain private. And that's because Secure has all of their data centers located over in Switzerland rather than in the US or in China. And the reason that's so important is that Switzerland has some of the strictest data privacy laws in the entire world, and they are not subject to the Intrusive Cloud Act. And if you want to know what the Cloud Act is, head on over to secure.com and watch their video on the homepage or on the video tutorials page, which is under their support section. Now, the thing that I personally love the most about the Secure app is the privacy aspect of it. They don't mine my data, they don't mine my phone number, they don't mine the phone numbers or data of my friends and family who I chat with. But best of all is that if your friends and family don't actually use the Secure app themselves, it doesn't matter. Because the way that it works is that when you use their Secure Send email technology, all of your emails and your messages route to Switzerland, and then the recipient can reply using their Secure Reply technology, and so everything remains private no matter what. And the same actually goes for their messaging app as well. And they're always coming up with new features. In fact, the most recent one they told me about, they sent me an email here, was that they're coming up with a new feature called Text to Chat by Invite. So they're an innovative company, and they really do care about your privacy. And so what they're doing doesn't work with your existing big tech email account. So check them out. You can head on over to secure.com. I'll throw the link into the description box below. And when you use promo code Roman, you can get 25% off. And the rates are not even that expensive to start with, by the way. It's only $5 for the messenger and $10 for the email and messenger combo. And they even offer a 7-day free trial. So head on over to their website. Again, it'll be linked in the description box below. Use promo code Roman to save some money.
Yeah, I may be there in that situation now anyway. Let me see. I don't trust this government, and I don't trust it because I see people that doing things that would land you and I in jail, and they're getting off scot-free. And right now, I think it's people trying to placate both sides. To say we need to make it look like we're trying to get to the bottom of things, but they're not.
I think it's so amazing that you guys are making your way through the country. This giant convoy, media total blackout. The government doesn't even acknowledge your existence. Sort of like what you saw in Canada, up until there was the blockade. And yet, not only do people know that you're here, they're braving the cold. I mean, it's freezing outside. You can freeze your fingers just without gloves for a few minutes, out waving the flag. Do you think, like, because what we saw in Canada is that, like, the government ignored the convoy up until they couldn't ignore the convoy at the end. But this convoy is going to go through the country. You made stops, along the way, but then you're going to go around the DC Beltway and disperse. So, what do you think will happen from that? I mean, is raising awareness the best you can hope for? Because it seems like in Canada, nothing happened until there was a blockade.
I think raising awareness is realistically what's going to happen, because I don't think this government is going to respond. I think they look at us like a pebble in your shoe, and it's bothersome, and you want to get rid of it, and as soon as you can get rid of it conveniently, you're going to get rid of it, and then you're going to go on about your way. I hope more can come from this. I don't know, but I worried about, I've worked so hard to get where I am and doing what I'm doing. I've only been a driver for 6 years, and then it hit me. Our founding forefathers pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. And if I'm not willing to risk a little something, then it's not worth fighting for. And I believe this is.
Now that you've had COVID, you obviously have the natural antibodies like with most other viruses.
Yep.
But the government, at least in America, doesn't really recognize that in almost any of their mandates. How do you feel about that?
It's again, I was talking to my brother, and I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and he says, yes, you are. And I said, okay, so maybe I am. But I also don't believe there's not a conspiracy around every corner. But when people are lying to me, when they're blocking alternative narratives to promote their own, you kind of have to ask yourself, wait a minute, what is going on here?
A lot of people have just turned their brain off. Even on Instagram, when I try to post stories regarding natural immunity, when you try to put hashtag natural immunity, it's blocked. Like you can't, they don't let you do it because they say, I forgot what one of those misinformation terms, or it's too much questionable content is on there.
The old fact checkers.
Exactly. Yeah, let me ask you this: if we continue down this road, we continue to letting bureaucrats, control our lives, take our freedoms, and then dole them back out to us if we behave, where is this country headed? What kind of country will our grandchildren inherit? What do you think?
I have no doubt that the powers that be that are out there are looking for a one world government that is ruled by elites, and we are the working class to provide for them. And I definitely, we're headed to a totalitarian government. I mean, we're experiencing a totalitarian government right now that's telling us that we have to get a vaccine, so they're very clever too. So now they get these big corporations who, they're worried about their social score like the CCP has for everybody. And so, they want to be able to continue to do banking and continue to do these things. And so they're saying, okay, the government can't mandate, but we're going to mandate it. And I don't think that, you either are going to get the jab or you lose your job.
Earlier you mentioned that the social credit score with the companies and the way that people are thinking is sort of going in the direction of the social credit score that the CCP has, the Chinese Communist Party. So do you think if this continues, we'll actually potentially have our government, this republic, changed into something more like what the CCP has?
Oh, I think they're trying to do that now.
Maybe, do you have any closing words that you want to leave with people who are watching this convoy, who maybe, well, there's probably two groups of people, maybe three. Maybe people who have never heard of the convoy and they're like, oh, you know, what's going on? Maybe the people who are invested in it, they're putting the hope in it. Maybe the third group of people who are maybe following the mainstream narrative about the convoy. And do you have any parting words you want to leave for them?
I would just say, don't believe the media, just whatever they say. Don't believe me, whatever I say. But I would say, don't believe me, don't believe any media. Do your own research.
What's fun is you see the people on the bridges, and you don't diminish what they're doing, but when you see one family from a farm and they're on the side of the road, on the edge of their farm, on the side of the highway, those are the ones that I like to honk, and then I'll wave at them, and you see the mom and dad jumping up and down like more than the kids are. So I mean, this is thrilling. This is just everything. This is just amazing.
How many people do you think you've seen thus far going through the convoy standing on the side of the road?
Oh, it's in the thousands. Yeah, because there's easily, I mean, we see some bridges that have 300, 400, 500 people down on the off ramps and up across the bridges, and it's amazing to see the emergency services vehicles up there. That is cool, because you know, somebody's stepping outside of their. In my mind, you're thinking, well, somebody's kind of stepping outside of their role as a government entity and then coming out and supporting something like this. That to me is pretty exciting. Everybody knows there's something wrong. There's somebody, the big money, the big influencers, they're in too much control. And I think that's what this is about. Singularly focused on the emergency mandates, but I think this is about the fact that people just don't feel like, well, like we've lost control. And how do you beat Facebook? Sorry about this. How do you beat Facebook? I mean, I've heard there was a live stream of the thing and they've shut it off.
Yeah. We had our sister media, NTD, they were having a live stream where they were walking around interviewing truckers, you know, and people on the side of the road. Super long interview, video, but it got taken down, and their channel got a strike on YouTube, probably because somebody said something about the vaccine that the fact checkers didn't like. So I mean, it's like a 5-hour long video. It's like maybe a snippet. Somebody said something that they didn't like,
and then shut
the whole thing down.
That's dangerous. That's extremely dangerous.
All right, so we follow the convoy from Ohio through Pennsylvania, through West Virginia, and now we are in Maryland. You can see they've set it up here in, what's the town called? Hagersburg? Hagerstown. All right, sorry about that. It's a very small town. Never been here before. It's lovely, though. So we'll be camping out here tomorrow. They will have another event, another rally here. So you can see there's music, there's fireworks, probably a couple of thousand people. Likely there'll be more tomorrow. So stay tuned. We will show you what's happening throughout the entire week. Until then, this is Roman from the Epic Times. Stay informed and stay free.